Yo, you tuning in to the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
Momentarily. Temporarily.
Okay.
Poe.
All right, cool.
Just Poe.
All right, we'll do that, man.
Poe.
We'll do that. How you been, man? It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? People be inquiring, like, where dude at? That be saying the crazy stuff on the podcast.
Is that right?
Where you, what's going on with you, bro? Anything new? Or let's talk about what's new in your life. What's going on?
Sometimes you gotta so that the people could want to see you a lot. You gotta be like Kendrick and J. Cole and them. Sometimes you just gotta fall back for a minute, even though that's not what happened. So that people appreciate you even more.
But yeah. I know what happened, but yeah, we gonna go with that.
Nah, so my son had basketball on Saturdays. Son had basketball on Saturdays.
The truth serum real
duty
quick.
Calls. So yeah, he had made the scrimmage team for his high school basketball team.
Okay. How is he doing in school and stuff like that?
School, he's doing better than he was the last 2 years as far as
getting adjusted.
Work, but he got some making up to do, but he's at least more diligent about doing this stuff and being on top of it a little bit more.
Let me ask you, now that you are in the position our parents were in when we were going through junior high and high school and all of that stuff, does your son ever bring work to you? Like, hey man, I don't really know how to do this. I don't understand it. And you looking at the work like, bro, I don't know what this is.
Dude, he in high school, that happened when he was in elementary. The way they was wording things.
What you bringing this to me for?
Nah, they wording shit and you had to read it a few times to yourself what? It's just how they would word things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
everything feel like a trick question.
But I'm actually glad now that I understand. I did well in school enough to remember and know algebra.
Kind of jog your memory a little bit.
Yeah, so it's that type of work. There's certain things like geometry. I never was good with geometry, so that's going to be a problem. But I'm much better with a little bit geometry, but more algebra. So I can help him with his work and understand it, and be like, this is how you do this. And
so the funny thing with me, man, is I was a bad student. I was always smart, always had the potential, but did not have the consistency, class clown type, right? So I had to make up a lot of school after when I graduated. All right, I got to start reading books on my own. I got to start watching documentaries. I got to play catch up, right? And one of the funniest things is I remember the times where I was trying to make a change. I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to just do my homework and whatever I don't know, I'm going to just bring it to my mom. And I bring it to my mom. My mom be like, man, you need to go to tutoring or something like that.
Try to put it off on tutoring.
You need to go to, you need to pay attention in class. And so then I go back to my room so I knew I wasn't tripping. Yeah, I'm back to scheduled programming,
hard,
man.
Huh?
Yeah, this is hard.
They don't even know how to do it.
Yeah, you can't do it, and you made it.
Nah, see, the problem with
I ain't even gonna try to do it.
The problem with me was once I was doing my homework for a lot of the first years of my life was I had other work to do. So my pops was making me do workbooks.
Oh yeah.
So I was the kid who homework done, workbooks, and then I'm reading. He's making me read these books.
Yeah.
That are advanced for my age.
Okay.
So Evelyn Wood's speed reading book. When I was a kid, I had to do a chapter report on every chapter of that book.
Oh.
This is an adult speed reading book to teach you to learn how to skim and scam and learn how to read.
Cut that game off.
Yeah, so I had to do workbooks after school. After my homework and all that. And
yeah.
So I honestly, a lot of shit in math I didn't know, I didn't get, because I understood patterns and I could just figure out how to solve certain things just with pattern. I was in honors math, but it's a lot of shit I just didn't really get.
There's a saying about math. Math is for lazy people because there's a lot of shortcuts of how you can do the math.
I didn't learn how to do long division until I was in college.
Dog, I've hated the minute I got to fractions.
Oh shit.
I was like, man, I can't stand this because I thought I was Himothy. You know what I'm saying? I was Himothy up until fractions.
Yeah, fractions.
And then I kind of got fractions, and then algebra. I was
that's a lot of niggas' math story is when they came upon the shit that it was all right, this is a rap.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was decimals.
I made it
once we got to that. It was all right.
I made it to algebra, and I remember doing okay in algebra, and then towards the end, going into geometry or algebra 2. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cheat at this point.
Hey, look. Let me tell you how they played me freshman year. Freshman year, Golden West. I'm in honors math. Freshman year, 2001. I'm in the honors math class with all the other like the white kids that we all know who would have been in honors math.
Right.
So I have an A in this class, and the teacher, he's showing the grades on the like. You could go and look at the paper on the wall every like week.
Yeah,
they were updating grades, so you could just look at your student ID.
Yeah,
my grade. I have an A in this class.
Right.
I ended the quarter or the semester with an A in that class.
Okay, you was Timothy.
They switch us to a different class.
Right.
For some reason, they just switch students to it. You can end up in a different math class now,
right,
with a different teacher. I swear to God, I ain't gonna lie. I felt like I was in the class with the remedial kids. Like,
did you?
Like the kids that didn't do good in math. Why I have a D in this class?
Wait, what?
Why am I turning in my homework early to the homework basket and you're not grading it because I'm not doing it the way you like? I ended up with a D in that class, bro.
That's crazy.
A D in that class,
That's
and I'm
crazy.
sitting there looking at myself like, did I come in here and get the energy of the remedialness? Like, is that what happened?
Yeah.
They took my superpower of no, like,
yep,
soon as I walked in, they was like, what's up, normal boy?
Yeah, that's what happened.
They called me normal boy.
You know, on Black Panther when he drunk the stuff to get rid of his powers, that's what happened. You went in there, they was like, drink this. Yeah. And all your math knowledge just went away.
It just went away. And I was just sitting there like, hold on. So we don't turn our homework in early. We get docked for turning it in early. I was getting docked for turning my home. I was doing that shit in class.
You got set up. You got set up for real.
I was doing it in class. She's not grading it.
That's all bad. Now you can check grades online and all kinds of drama.
That's what I can say is it does alleviate a lot of like having to do it. It's a lot to check on the kids because they got 6 classes.
Yeah.
But at least you can.
It's right there on your phone.
App, the teacher is texting me.
Yeah.
Keeping me updated.
Yeah.
And I can check and see what his homework is and what he's turned in. And
can't lie to you. Parents today don't have. Parents today can't. They can't say, you can't tell your parents you ain't got no homework.
They got new ways of doing this shit, bro.
Okay.
Well, it ain't updated yet.
We'll see. I'm a detective.
Like, wait till your youngins get to the age. There's gonna be some other shit.
See, I'm a detective, man.
Right now, the grades ain't updated yet. I turned it in. He just ain't.
Man, I look for lies even if I know I got the truth, man. We find that somehow, something too good over here.
Yeah, man. But you could message the teacher right away. Be like, oh, for word.
Did he do this? Oh, he didn't. All right, I got it. Cause I'm finna do this.
Yeah,
yep. That's taking his phone, everything.
That's what's going on, man. You can't take the phones.
Yeah, I can.
That's the trap.
Yeah, I can take the phones.
I guarantee you, by the time your kids they're gonna have a phone in preschool.
I was raised by a very, very this person was a psychological warfare warrior. Okay.
Wait till you need to find out where they at.
That's fine. You don't have to have the phone that you desire, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but
you know what I mean. You don't have to have the
those
phone.
Type of phones no more.
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do.
I still see them.
You
can see them at Walmart, Target, all of that, bro. I have no problem getting on eBay and ordering one of them Sidekick 2s. I have no problem doing that. I was raised by the best when it comes to psychological warfare. You know what I'm saying? My brothers came home to doors off the hinges, TVs missing, fans gone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got you. If parents, if y'all need any advice on psychological warfare when it comes to the battle between you and your teenager, holler at your boy. I used to be the dean of a line. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just, but let's
different ways, man.
But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, we got a topic.
So you know, I sent you a couple things that I feel like we could talk about, and it was a judge. I think she was a Texas judge, and she was putting a disclaimer out there, explaining to people that federal law as well as Texas law, basically says that you could pretty much be incriminated and go to jail. It is against the law to look through somebody's phone.
Line them up.
So,
line them up.
So, ladies,
funky. Yeah.
And it's even worse if you go through somebody's phone and you send yourself content from that phone, contents from that phone. Now, I didn't even know. Let me see if I can pull this up while I'm talking about it,
fellas.
But yeah, fellas,
the day has come. Take her ass to court.
Hakeem.
Take her ass to court. Let her post it on social media. What she found in your phone.
I got you. I got you. Let me see. So, because I got the article right here. Well, no, this isn't the article. I think this is part of the law.
And if you rat on your girl and take her to court for that, you
yeah, bro, you wild,
sick ass psychopath.
You're a different person. Okay, this is the whole breakdown. I didn't need the whole breakdown. I just needed part of the breakdown. I cannot find it, but either way, it's true. Look it up.
Okay, so it's a federal crime. It's like going through somebody's mail.
So it's like it's a federal crime, but it's even worse. It's even worse in the state of Texas.
Okay, so then only your girl could be in trouble for that.
I think anybody can be in trouble for that, but I think the reason why we say your girl or your guy, whoever you're dealing with, is because those are the people that's most likely going to go in your phone. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
So the federal government.
Yeah,
we got them.
Yeah. It's
so you could go through
the federal wiretap law, I believe.
So the feds could go through our phone. Your girl can't.
Yeah, nah, you can't.
Got it.
Yeah, man. You know they got to make it fair.
Got it.
You know they got to make it fair.
You got it.
What you think about that though, man?
That's crazy. It's a federal crime.
Yeah, I mean it seems harmless, but when you think about it, how violated do you feel, or would you feel, just when somebody goes through things like a drawer in your house, your phone, your wallet, your pockets, things that you conceal whatever private information, whether it's banking information, whether it's money,
especially
whether
when
it's
you cheating. Like if you you don't want to go into my phone when I'm cheating.
Hey, it's almost like when them scenarios happen, right?
Get him,
bitch. I took the bus. I know the other version, but
I remember that one.
But what I'm saying is when you look at scenarios like this, right? And you take dudes out there that be fucking around and doing shit they ain't supposed to do, right? And then when they get caught because somebody looked in their phone, they feel betrayed.
Yeah.
They feel betrayed because you went into something that was private while they was doing dirt.
But fellas, y'all gotta understand that is part of the rules for the fellas to be like, you can't go. That's against the rules. But for the ladies, that's how they play that game. So if you out there doing wrong and you get caught,
right?
That's like playing flag football.
Okay.
You got the ball.
Yeah.
And she grabbed your flag. That's part of the game.
I look at it like this. You can never expect somebody to play the game like you play the game.
Yeah,
if you're playing to win.
Yeah, women playing that game.
If you're playing to win or you're playing to prove a point, you know, because I mean, even when people say cheating, I know
disclaimer: we are not.
I don't have to put a disclaimer out there for that. You shouldn't have to do that either. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can think whatever y'all want to think because y'all believe the internet anyway.
I'm a prospect right now, so I have to put that disclaimer out there. I have to let it be known like that. Those previous things I said, was jokes.
They call infidelity cheating, right? Cheating is a word that you would use when a game is being played. So even though people want to say this isn't a game, I mean, well, why are we using the words cheating? So when you're playing the game, what y'all got to understand is, fellas, is the women don't play the game the way you play the game.
Yeah, they playing by different. They have
a different set of rules that they go by.
Like
and vice versa.
The king, the queen, the pawn, the rook, the bishop, they all they move a different way.
Yep. But it's all playing the same game.
She move all across the motherfucking board in different ways. She go up, down,
right. And you can only move and you can only pivot in certain directions.
You can only do this.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful how you pivot. You know what I'm saying?
And you gonna hold yourself to them rules.
Yeah.
She's not.
No, she's not. That's it. Women will break all rules depending on how they feel.
Rules for them.
Well, what I'm saying is we go by a code. We go by a creed. They go by a code and creed too, but it has nothing to do with our code and our creed. So when they go on your phone,
obtain all information.
Understand? Yes.
By any means
objective.
Necessary.
Yes.
That's the objective.
Yes,
that's how they code it.
Right.
That's their code.
So, the day has come where you do have some protection federally, and if you're in Texas, statewide too. Look, but man,
if you is using federal,
I just don't know how you gonna go down in the book as a man, right?
First court case.
If you, as a man, if you go down in the book, right, as like, yeah, Your Honor, she went through my phone for all of that.
How much time she get?
So like, is you gonna tell on her because you in trouble? Like this?
Your mom in jail for going through my phone.
Come on, get in this car. Let's go see your mama. Come on, let's get in the car. Let's go see your mama.
And she lose all phone privileges.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that being the scene in the movie? You broke the family up, mama. You went through the phone.
How much time is they getting? Is it a fine? Is they getting? Is it a minimum?
You know that serious mama. I haven't seen my mother in 3 years.
Because
I'm sorry. Did something happen to her? She got locked up for a crime. What did she do?
Because she unlocked my daddy's phone.
She went through my daddy's phone.
She unlocked
face
my daddy's
recognition
phone. Now they locked her.
And everything went downhill from there. We lost the house. My dad lost the boat. He had to sell the business. The divorce was ugly.
Shit.
Yeah, the things we learn is crazy, dog. The things we learn.
Federal crime.
Yes.
Like, what's the lowest? What's the crime?
You got to think about like how often do the average person sit down and just look at the rule book? You know, we talk about rules, right? We talk about laws, your state laws, your city laws.
Of the law is not an excuse.
It's not, but it's a lot of stuff they write down, man.
What if you could? What if you could be ignorant of the law and be like, sorry, officer, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Not like Dave Chappelle. Like Dave Chappelle's homeboy. I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
What if you could use that?
Some people can. Some people can.
But what if they took down the notes and in your record it was like, I told his ass about that damn law.
the deprived melanated people are able to do that. You know what I'm saying? The darker hues understand that statement doesn't exist in our mind frame ever. Of I didn't know I could, because even if we didn't, even if it's true we didn't know we couldn't do that, we still gonna try to find another way to explain ourselves. Because
like, for real?
What? That's crazy.
For real?
Where they say that?
When?
I'm not even from here.
Yeah.
I'm not even from here.
What if they had a database to see how many laws you was aware of?
That'd be nasty.
They pull up your shit and be like, nah, nigga.
Well, it looks like you passed that test last September on these laws, so you definitely.
You was here 3 years ago, nigga. We told your ass last time.
In this very spot, too.
Yeah.
And you had on them shoes.
Oh, man.
What? Man, I was rushing, man. I didn't know.
Yeah, we got to revisit that.
That's wild. That's a wild game right there.
Being ignorant of the law.
But speaking of relationships, Safaree released some very, very wild footage, and I think this is very interesting because I got a way I want to spin this conversation. He released some footage of his ex-wife, mother of both of his children, right, Erica Mena. She was doing some athleticism. She was he was showing her being an athlete. She was wilding out, man.
She was an athlete.
Like she straight put paws on, bro. But what tripped me out was it was in front of the kids.
I'm talking about when she climbed the scaled that damn wall with that ladder.
Hey man, the Avengers
and flip flops.
Hey man, that's a long line to join the Avengers, man. My thing is, I remember when I was seeing stuff about her when she was going through it.
With Joe Budden, baby mama.
I don't know if it was necessarily her, but I know a lot of people had empathy for her because she was looking different. She was stressed out. She was looking stressed out.
Is this before or after Bow Wow?
This is during Safaree. Like during
Safaree.
During dealing with them separating and going and feuding and stuff, right? And a lot of people had empathy for her because, like, man, look, we could tell she's losing weight, da 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 da. And I was one of the few, because me and my wife, we talk about these things every blue moon when I'll entertain it. And I said, I don't really feel bad for people like that. People that continuously have a certain type of reputation, and they always find themselves in certain situations that basically verify that that's the reputation that they have. It's hard for me to feel bad, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing that I thought was interesting about the footage is, although there's a lot of people on his side,
it's not a lot of people.
I don't
compared to how many on her
I
side.
don't see the same energy as the Diddy Cassie tape.
Yeah, they more on because they already they already don't like him or something, or they have a perception of him, or they feel like, yeah, it's the
So
it's
do
the same.
so it's fair to say that it seems like the masses, social media specifically, right, kind of gives a little grace depending on how well liked or unliked a person is, right? Because when the Diddy tape came out, it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this actually happened. Like, did you see what he did? And this is just disgusting. And because of that tape, the majority of people believe that he's guilty of everything that anybody says. Me and you could come out and be like, yeah, man, he did this when he came out to Sacramento. And people will believe it because they feel some type of way based off of that footage. Before the footage, there was a little bit of like back and forth, right? There was a little bit of back and forth on who believed who.
Because that wasn't a persona of his that we saw. That wasn't something that he showed the world.
There was, we only heard about it.
For us to like, we've been hoodwinked because we've seen a repetition of your character that you've presented to us.
Right.
I feel like society, I'm not even going to say because just what you said about Erica Mena and Safaree, I feel like that's how society is when it comes to women who are violent in domestic violence situations.
Yeah. And like I said, man, the two little kids, like those
Jay-Z
kids,
and
Solange.
Let a man kick the woman just because I kick harder.
Yeah.
And I got more force and I know how to kick. That just makes my situation more.
Well, having two little kids myself that don't look like they're too far off from their kids' age, it was like, yo, somebody should have came down. Like I feel like the masses should have came down with an iron fist with that. Because number one, like, you could have injured one of your kids trying to injure him. Number two, you just traumatize these kids, and kids can have a good memory. Some people remember things from when they were 3.
Nigga, I remember when I was 3. Nigga, my uncle had a hammer like he was trying to go hit my auntie.
You see what I'm saying? You remember? You like
3.
Right. And I have memories of like being 3 and certain things and certain events and, trying to put the pieces together, asking older relatives, you remember this day or whatever, right? So it was trippy to me that just as far as in from what's right and what's wrong, how it was light. I think people did go in on her. I think a lot of people was very bothered by the footage as far as in what she was doing. But I just feel like it was more light. I believe it was more light on her versus when I've seen people go in on men for doing less.
Yeah, because I care less about their situation and what they're going through, because that's some regular shit that a lot of people have gone through.
Right.
But it's more about how society is responding to it. And
that's where I'm at with it.
Like not having the same energy for this situation compared to this situation.
Right, because the energy should be the same.
Yeah.
Based off the topic,
not
who and who's involved
or how much a person was injured.
Exactly. It should be disgusting, period.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that was a little disappointing. Y'all people need to do better on that, man. Like seriously do better. I hope better for those kids. Being a parent, personally being a parent, I see a lot of stuff differently. And I think what I see differently when I see stuff like that, or just situations with children involved, is when I seen stuff before, I would just be like, damn, that's unfortunate. When I see it now as a parent, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'd do. Like if, my daughter or my son, seen something like that, or I don't know how I would feel about myself if I reacted this way. I put so much more thought into it because now I have a human being I could put that I've brought into this world in the same hypothetical, so it affects me differently. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, it also triggers me in a different way when people handle things like that, light on one end but heavy on the other, when it's the same things happening, and obviously the same outcomes as well.
People pick and choose based on who they like.
Yeah, they sick with it, man. Definitely. It's a lot of relationship crazy shit, right? So I sent you the clip. These women, they don't sound like they were from here. They sound like they probably could have been UK maybe.
Okay.
UK accents and South African accents kind of they sound similar to me.
Little bit.
I'm not going to say they sound similar to everyone, but they sound similar to me. So they could be South
Australian,
a little bit of
like,
Australian. But these two women were really trying their best and failing miserably, trying to explain how marriage is another form of prostitution. Oh my goodness. Now, the points that they were harping on were sexual points. They were explaining that, if you're providing the intimacy with the man and he's providing the lifestyle and all of this different stuff, once the intimacy stops, he might stop providing and he may leave. Well,
what the fuck are you talking about? That's a part of the relationship that he's... What are you talking about?
The things that they were trying to explain in a nutshell is that marriage is transactional.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't say that, but that's what I summed it up as. But I think the problem is this is a great example of what happens when there's not enough examples of what marriage looks like. And so now people start painting a picture. It's almost like
it's a rebellion.
It's almost like if there was a person out there that had an actual painting of Jesus, right? And they took care of it for 100 years. And then over the 100 years, people was fighting over it, stealing it, so the picture got destroyed. But you have in your mind how you think the picture looks, so you start painting your own version. And then somebody else is like, nah, I don't remember him looking like that. And they paint their own version. And before you know it, nobody knows what he really looked like. That's just my example of what I would use, right? Because it's been
watered down.
Yeah, it's been watered down. And so just to have, well, first of all, before I even have a rebuttal, what do you think about that? What do you think about just the statement alone of so many women, but just these women in particular, claiming that marriage is another form of prostitution? Because I've also heard that marriage is just a piece of paper. The Clubhouse days, when everybody was on lockdown, we was listening to the different rooms on Clubhouse. But I'm seeing it more, and I'm seeing it more in younger millennials and Gen Z and people like that speaking down on the unity of marriage and not really seeing any value in it.
I was there when I was younger. I remember that. But as I've grown older, I see marriage as being like creating a LLC, like creating.
So you look at it as a business.
Somewhat in that way, if you want to think of it in that way, like you two are coming together, and with your whatever values you bring, whatever you bring to the table,
right?
We are combining that, and there are benefits to this, whether it's the relationship benefit, it's the companionship benefit, it's the benefit of finances,
right?
Of security, of there's various different benefits to that type of relationship. There's many. In a marriage, you have many different types of relationships within that one relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
It's just like, being in a family, you have different relationships. You have different jobs. Yeah. You're a brother, you're a son, you're a cousin, you're an uncle, you're a distant cousin.
But now in the marriage, you're a provider for this family.
You're the authoritative.
You are a protector. And those are just the stereotypical male.
The enforcer and
the enforcer. You are now usually people are going to have a child.
Yeah.
Have children.
Yeah.
So there's that part of it. Then there's the security of knowing that, if something happens to me or this person, that they have somebody there for them, and somebody's going to have security of knowing that maybe the home that they purchased is going to go to them. And those are all benefits, whether we want to look at it selfishly or not. It is a benefit. So I think of it like that. Like, you guys are coming together, creating a union. And I don't look at it as the religious part of it, the aspect, but that's another portion of it for some people. But for me, because I'm not religious, I would look at it more of like, those are the important parts to me of what a marriage would be, is the security, the companionship, the financial benefits to it.
Yeah.
All that.
I think the problem is because here's the thing. People have now taken what marriage is and is trying to make a different spin on what they want it to be or how they view it. It's like a car, right? A car is a car. It has the tires, wheels, steering wheel, engine, and everything else, right? But somebody else will come along and be like, well, I mean, it's really a vehicle, and it's really, a vehicle that's very costly and distracting and polluting, and they add all of these different moving parts rather than look at it for what it is and what it was designed to do, right? So when you go the religion aspect of it, most beliefs have marriage braided or woven, if you will, into that belief. Mm-hmm. So then when you have somebody that doesn't come from a belief trying to tell the people what they believe, what it is, that's a violation right there. Because I'll use an analogy with like fraternities and clubs and different groups. All of these different things have something in common. They're collectively coming together. They're either for the same thing or they're against the same thing. But at the end of the day, all of those different groups aren't the same thing. They just have things in common. And so when people come out and they say, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper, marriage is just this, marriage, I can tell most people that are saying that have not done their homework on why people do it, why people last in it, why some people enjoy it, why some people keep doing it. They may keep failing or they keep going through marriages, but they keep getting married or whatever the case is. They don't even take those steps. They just create in their mind, hey, this is what this is. And so my rebuttal to the two ignorant women on marriage is it's not prostitution, because you're not guaranteed any action whenever you want it, no matter how good of a day you've had, no matter what you're
used to be a law. Some places it still might be a law, man. She gotta have. You remember? You don't remember reading that before?
Listen, bro. I
Six
remember
times a day.
Listen,
or a week or some shit. That's what it said.
Listen.
And some people go back to that good book and say, now this is what. This is
what's in the warranty. This is in the warranty.
It's in the book.
I just believe that there are so many moving parts to it, and it's sad that some people, like a lot of people, don't understand it, because even people that are in long-term relationships that are not married are gonna find themselves being more aligned with people that are in long-term relationships or married than people that are still trying to figure it out, people that are dating around, got a different person every week or whatever the case it is, right? And there's ways where you can get a lot of the perks of a marriage without being married. There's all the different paperwork you can sign and different things you can do. But at the end of the day,
you got me excited and shit. I was about to raise my hand.
He said, "Yo, let me go look at my phone right now and see what we got."
I was gonna go like this. Excuse me.
But there are certain things that you can do. Like? As far as in not being married,
yeah.
You got to remember. Well, here in Cali, and I don't know if this goes with all the other states, but I know here in Cali, you can get like a domestic partnership.
Oh yeah, I had that.
You see what I'm saying?
That worked for my for my job for certain benefits. And
right.
Stuff.
You see what I'm saying? So when the reason why people call it a business thing though is because more so of what happens towards the end of a marriage. Oh, you take half this person's stuff and alimony and child support and, all of these other things. But nah, man.
No, see, I don't call it a business because of that. I look at it as
I'm saying most people do. Yeah, most people, that's what goes on it because they see when they go off of when celebrities break up.
Yeah,
that's what I think they base it being a business off. But you got to understand, when celebrities get married, it's different than when Poe and Dizzy go marry somebody. You want to know what the difference is? Those celebrities are separate brands.
Yeah, and they got.
When two separate brands get married, what do we call that? A merger.
Yeah,
they merge, right?
They got a lot of different finances. They have different. What would you call that? When they own things and shit like that. Assets.
Yeah,
there you go. They got different assets.
Yeah, so
they don't even change their name sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of them don't. You know what I'm saying? Because that name is a brand.
Exactly.
So it's not the same as us. And then on top of that, people need to understand that there's also value in things that's going on with marriage. Some people get married and they don't associated with their family. They had a bad relationship with their family, right? So if something happens to that person that you love, and you already know how that family is, you have power of attorney. Usually you can still make decisions, and you can, you know, follow the wishes of your spouse versus somebody coming in and saying, that's my cousin, even though I don't like them and I ain't talked to them in X amount of years. They don't come in and make decisions of how it's going to affect your family.
Correct.
You know, and things like that. A lot of people don't even know. I learned this when I got married. A lot of people don't even know that when a man and a woman gets married, and even if they don't have kids, that's the family right there. That woman and that man have now became a family, you know, or you know, I didn't know that.
I thought you had a kid.
Yeah, you're considered a family. The minister or the pastor that married us, he met with us several times before he decided if he wanted to make that decision to marry us, because he takes marriage seriously. And he said, yeah, did you guys know that? You know, I was like, nah, I didn't know that. You know, and he started asking me questions like, hey, do you know what the grounds of divorce are, like to actually divorce? I knew that because I grew up in the church and I know more of the Bible than what people think I do. You know what I mean? But when I see those statements, those wannabe viral moments, I cringe a little bit, because every person that's on the fence about marriage, or people that just don't understand if that's the right decision, can be swayed by complete nonsense like that. Marriage works for me, and it works for everybody that I know that's still married, obviously. But the people that are not married, it doesn't mean that they can't make things happen. But when you have people like that have a direct motive and target to say, yeah, it's just this, or yeah, it's just that. To me, that's the equivalent of talking to somebody who has no desire to get married, but has children, has a long lasting relationship, and that's just not the route they want to go. And I'm like, yeah, man, having kids with somebody and living a life where you still happy, but you ain't do the paperwork, you know, that's just robbery. You know what I'm saying? That's just taking advantage of the person. Who am I to say that? You know what I mean? Because I'm not walking that side of the track to understand how it's working for them, or what they're doing, or why they don't believe. Some people don't believe in marriage through the state. They believe in it on a spiritual level, right? Through their culture. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not going to involve the government in our paperwork. So it was funny to me seeing that, because it was also funny to me seeing that because it was women talking about it, and most women want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, most women want marriage, or they want to emulate what comes with marriage. Coming home, the kids is at home, the husband is there. He's, you know, they like the idea of. So even the women that say that they don't want to be married, they still like the idea of what comes with marriage, the perks of it, having somebody committed to you, having somebody you could spend your life with, and things like that. So in a way, you kind of do agree with it. But hearing women say it is funny to me. It'd be the equivalent of dudes sitting around saying, you know, sex is overrated. You know, I don't know why people be tripping. I don't know why.
Semen retention.
All these dudes that be in the likes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta have semen retention.
Yeah, y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all don't like to shoot pool?
Y'all like bowling, nigga?
Huh? You spend more time with your homeboys.
Top golf, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird. I guarantee you, if some dudes came out and they said something like that, they'll be going viral for the rest of their life for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. They'll have females be like, knowing damn well.
Yes. Oh, the females will be going in like, oh, we know who they like to spend their time with.
She's going to be mad that he has semen retention.
But yeah, man. So my message to the listeners, you know, because I be trying to put these clips that we be talking about and these conversations we be talking about within an episode for the people that watch it on YouTube. Don't listen to these when these people come online and they start talking crazy. I did like the comments in this video though, because people were saying, yo, we gotta stop selling mics to everybody. Shut these podcasts down. And I mean, of course, we've gotten comments like that, but we actually have substance and real conversation and real experiences to our walks of life.
You got to be vetted before you can buy a mic.
Yeah, I think there should be. I think there should be some qualification things.
Say something, nigga.
You know what I mean?
If valuable, funny.
Maybe I need to get into politics, man, so I can start putting some laws down, you know, as far as in buying mics. I just wish I had did it years ago, because the roller coaster in the music industry got me feeling like, man, there need to be some laws on who's writing these songs and who's approving these songs to come out, and is this even a song? You know, but I did appreciate so many people stepping up and saying, man, these women sound crazy.
Yeah, because they do.
Right. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, that's not my cup of tea, and leaving it at that. But you don't have to make a campaign. You know what I mean? You don't have to make a campaign about it. And that's the cold part, when you make a campaign about it and still be wrong. That's a cold one. But, discussing all of these different things, all of these different relationship conversations, one of the most popular, and I don't even see it dying down anytime soon, especially with the balloon pop game going on and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
We've had conversations on this platform numbers of times about 50-50 and high value men, from the Kevin Samuels era and all of these different things. And it really made me think. It made me have a question and a statement at the same time: a man of value versus a man of success.
What is? Are we talking about success?
No, I was gonna put the two against each other, but I was gonna say, what is a man of value? Mm-hmm. What is a man of success? And which one of the two is the most valuable? Now, there's some men that are men of value and successful, but we're not gonna get into that right now. Yeah, so we just gonna define. I think we should define, because we're men, and I think we should be able. We're more capable of defining that, because I feel like when a lot of women define it, they're defining their personal preference versus what's factual.
So are we talking about a man that has values, or are we talking about a valuable man?
What is a man of value, and what is a man of success?
So that's what I'm saying. Break it down. Are we talking about a man that has values, or are we talking a man that is valuable?
Valuable, because I feel like somebody that's valuable is going to have values that are aligned with the group that has those values, right? For example, we're sports fans, right? Basketball, we are going to name the most valuable player, but we also know that there's valuable players under that, right? Based off of the game of basketball. So this is an all around, what is a man of value, and how and we can break down the proof of that on society standards and things like that.
Has values or is valuable?
Yeah, a man that's valuable.
Okay. And you said by default, by being valuable, he has values.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So then, a man of success. Are we talking? Obviously, that's kind of a little bit straightforward. A man that is
We're not gonna call Deshaun on fries at Burger King a man of success. That doesn't mean that he's not.
I mean, how you know?
That's
what what if he stepped it up to get to the fries? Well, first he was cutting up the lettuce and tomatoes
in that store. He probably Himothy. But the point that I'm making is that you rarely hear bruh on the fries being a man of success. But if you talking to somebody and they say, yeah, such and such has been an entrepreneur for a few years, naturally people are gonna be like, oh, that, and they sound like they're a person of success.
Outpost started off in the laundromat, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we having this.
That's why we having this conversation.
But AZ started off in the laundromat.
That's why we having this conversation.
So, and that's just to be facetious. But a man of value versus a man of success, is there a difference? There is a difference. Sometimes it can be both. A man of value is the conversation. Is there a difference, or are we talking about which one would be better to?
We're talking about the difference of them. So
a man of value, I think, is somebody who let's talk about there's this book that my mom had when I was younger, and they made it into a little mini series. It was called The Ditch Digger's Daughters.
Okay.
All right. So the ditch digger, this dude, he dug ditches for a living, and this might be a cross of both a man of value and success. He had all daughters. I think he had 6 of them. And he was a hard working man, but he was also a little hard in his parenting. And he wanted all his daughters to become doctors. And the relationship that they had with their father was a little like bittersweet because they all became doctors. And the relationships with each other kind of like were affected in the way in which their personality types. But a man of value. He had values, and this is a man that's living in the 1960s, I think, and the success that his daughters had was based on his values. So I would say like a man of value was somebody like the ditch digger who might not necessarily be at the top of his, I guess,
tax bracket or lifestyle.
Yeah, like even just being he was a ditch digger. He didn't own necessarily a company, but he built the house that they lived in by his hands, by himself. He saved up the money. He built the whole house himself.
Okay.
Somebody who might not necessarily care about success to others, but holds values. Like values is his success.
Okay.
As long as you maintain those values, then you are successful to those type of people.
Okay.
Some people are like their success. I don't know. I think there's a difference as I'm talking, but I believe it pushes. It's like a balance.
Okay. So a man of value has a different type of balance to him as far as in capabilities.
Yeah, but there could be men who are successful who don't have values.
So I'll break it down like this on what I think. I think using an example and not making it the end all be all of my point, a man of success would be the CEO, the chairman, the business mind that inherited or started the business.
Okay.
The men or man of value would be the one or the ones that built it. And when I break that down as far as in men, when I look at our father's generation and even our grandfather's generation, in my belief, those were men of value. And the reason why was because they did not mind going to work, and they went to work. They worked for what they had, and they had a belief on why they should be working. But outside of that, they knew how to survive. Outside of the workforce, they knew how to cut grass. They knew how to fix things. They knew how to build things. And guess what? Whatever it is that they lacked, they had somebody in their network that knew how to do it. So they either had resources through their network to get that person to do it that wasn't going to be a financial challenge, or that person taught them, so knowing how to fish, knowing how to hunt, these were common things in that time period that has been lost over the decades all the way up until now, right? Now, the unique thing is even though those valuable skills have kind of been a little lost and haven't been highlighted as much as back then, generations now have the same information and same mindset as the men of success. So you see a whole lot more entrepreneurs, a whole lot more creatives, a whole lot more things being created or being modified and being perfected. So,
and they have less value in our eyes sometimes when we're critiquing, when we're observing them. It seems like they have less value
in the men tribe, like like in the tribe of men,
according to how men should move or how men used to move.
Yeah,
we're seeing a lot less men who have. We are seeing a lot more success, but we're seeing less values.
Yeah, because the men that we looked up to and that were revered knew how to do both. They knew how to walk and chew gum. They knew how to, I have my own convenience store and I own my own tire shop, and I was working 5 to 6 days a week over for Mr. Such and Such, and I was making sure my wife was okay with this, and you know what I'm saying? They were doing it all.
Because let's say usually we can look at like sports players let's say Mayweather, let's say Jordan, let's say LeBron, let's say Steph. Those are men who have values and are also extremely successful.
Exactly. And most of those
values.
And most of those men that you named came from, I don't want to say they came from nothing, but they came from humble beginnings. We talk about Jordan, like, I'm glad you brought him up. We talk about a Michael Jordan who basically became a billionaire off of dribbling a basketball, but they don't talk about the fact that he was from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't come from a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? He came from an average home where his father worked and his mother was there and things like that. Nobody was looking at him saying, man, he going to be a billionaire one day. Mm-hmm. You know, so taking those skills and doing what he's done with it, you know, now he's who he is and he has a certain status. But I thought it was important to highlight, you know, the differences with man of value and man of success, because there is a handful that are successful men that are of value and have values. But a lot of people don't decipher that. Mm-hmm. They go off at the surface level stuff and they say, you know, yeah, I mean, you see such and such, how they living right now. You see what they driving. You see where they live. I mean, you see, man, they doing it, you know, so they're successful. And the women that wish they had a man like that see him as a man of what? Value.
For sure. And
I think the more society gets to a point where we're having a conversation about let me take that back. If people would just have more conversations, you would be able to get all of that information on who's valuable, what their values are, and how successful they really are, how successful they're going to be. But people don't have conversations anymore.
We live in a microwave world where people want quick success and they're willing to forego their own personal values in order to gain success. So that's why we're seeing a lot more success, and we're like, the way they're moving and how they're getting there is kind of like, that's not how I want to get to my success. Right. If I don't get there, then I'm still upholding my own values.
Right. So let me ask you this question then. Do you think that you're a man of value? Do you think you're a man of success? Or do you think you're a successful man of value that has values?
I'm a man of value.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say I'm a man of value. Because success to me is like, that's just a byproduct sometimes. Values are things that I deal with every day. Mm-hmm. Work, home, life, right. Family.
Right.
Success is
still hold the door open for the old lady walking behind you. Yeah. See, that's having values.
That's values to me. Success is just based on how much work I'm willing to put in to certain aspects of my life.
Yeah.
But my values are the same. Sometimes they change though.
Yeah,
tax bracket change. Values change.
Yeah, man. Tax bracket change. Like, man,
values change. Tax bracket.
Won't eat there no more.
No, I told you. I thought I was further away from the regular little bonus we get. I said, man, if I think we should all get the same. And then I was looking at, I was like, hold on, I'm a little closer than what they was talking about giving everybody. And I'm like, nah, let's just keep going.
Yeah, man. I think we should work for this.
Yeah.
So, I believe within myself that I am a successful man of value who has values. And I'll tell you why. When I look at what people define as success, I have all of that, just a different version of it. I don't live in a mansion, but I have a home. I don't drive a Maybach, but I have a car. I don't have $1 million, but I make money and I have money. You see what I'm saying?
That's your success.
That, to me, it's like, just because I don't have that version don't mean I don't have it at all.
Yeah, because success, you see what I mean? Gotta be in the top, because then what supersedes that? Somebody's gonna be more successful than the other. So success is based on you.
There's always a bigger fish.
It's the individual.
And here's the thing, and And this message is for like young men that are striving to be successful. If there happens to be any young pro athletes watching right now, this is for you too. You have to understand that when you're moving through life and you are deemed successful by certain people because they have an ulterior motive or they have a certain belief or they have a certain agenda, there's always a bigger fish. And that's not a slight at you, or that's not a slight at anybody that is considered successful to the masses. But what I'm saying is don't allow for people to define you based off of what they see on a surface level. Matter of fact, you define you first. Mm-hmm. And you set your values and you stand on that, and you make sure that you understand how you're considered a man of value amongst the people that you affect. And you understand that your success is based off of your measurement of what you want, because over time, success and successful has always been the paradigm of what other people are saying about you and not what you're saying about yourself.
For sure.
I seen an article about Jalen Hurts having like a regular house. Like when I seen a picture of Jalen Hurts' house, I'm like, man, that don't look too far off my crib. And you know, it's crazy. People respected him. And people was like, yeah, man, he didn't spend all. And if I'm not mistaken, he's hired majority women on his staff as far as in his brand and what he does. I think he's married or he's in a serious relationship with somebody. And, you know, it's not no supermodel. Not taking any slight at her because she's beautiful. But, you know, he's not going out there trying to, you know,
because you're trying to impress everybody else. Like, I be seeing some of these people, and like, they show their house, and it'd be like these marble floors and staircases and shit. And I'd be like, that shit is too much and ugly to me. I'm cool. I don't want no stairs in my house. I don't want hella tile marble floor to feel cold and like you can't play and run in there. Like, I'm cool, man. Just give me enough space and that's it.
I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. I would love a huge house, but you know why? Because of the things that I like that I want to put in it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want the rooms to be large enough.
I want the game room where the fellas can drink beer and watch games, or pull out the PlayStation or something like that. I want a basketball court to the back where people's like, you know, all right, man, see me one-on-one then since you think you. I want those things, but I don't think I need to have marble floors. I don't think I need to have 100 cars. I don't need to have 47 different chains, or I don't need any of that stuff.
But again,
and then who you get to hang around? Who you get to hang around?
My nigga, I feel like we as people who don't have that, we might not understand, because when you got money to blow and you could just do things that you want to do, sometimes you might get bored, or you just start liking more things. Like, oh damn, something else came out.
You know, it gets lonely. I think it gets lonely for those folks because they've already set the standard on how they're viewed by everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Versus just being who you are. Because there's a lot of people walking around here with millions of dollars that dress like me and you on a regular basis, because they're not leading with what's in the bank. They're leading with character, who they are as a person. We stand in line at the grocery store all the time with somebody that probably makes $500K and up. And we would never know, because they get in their pickup truck, they get in their little Honda, and they go do whatever they got to do, but they're comfortable. And it's, you know, it's easy for people to say, or, you know, for somebody that's way up in a different tax bracket, like, nah, you just don't understand, man, the type of lifestyle. And it's like, man, the only thing I understand is you got to put your shoes on 1 foot at a time, like I do. Your body tells you it's hungry, just like my body tell me it's hungry. When we watch the Super Bowl every year, we watching the same Super Bowl. It might be
different. It might not be the same Super Bowl, depending on where they seats at.
Yeah, if they there.
if
they there. But if you at home watching the Super Bowl, like I'm at home watching the Super Bowl, you're not getting no shout outs and commercials like, hey, bro, thanks for watching the Super Bowl. You a dope person. You make a lot of money. Anyways, back to the game.
Depending on the size of that screen.
We watching the same thing.
Depends on the size of that screen.
That's how I see it. You know what I mean? And
no, I get what you're saying.
And I think that these conversations are important, because it's real easy to get lost in values and success when people get online, get on platforms, and talk about their personal perspective versus across the board what something is. And that's why I was like, you know what, it is important. I don't know, maybe the next episode we might talk about successful women and women of value. I don't know. They might get a little mad, but I just think that we have to define things more. You're getting a little lost in this day and age.
Yeah.
Everything.
Definitions are becoming a little less definition-y. A little less definition-y and more interpreted.
Yeah. What people are doing now is people are getting online and they're saying things, and then people, because it resonates with you, you're like, yeah. But that's not even what the definition is. That's just none of that. You're going off of emotion, which is genius.
Yeah.
When people can go viral off triggering emotions, it's genius because you're actually speaking to whatever emotions that people are feeling. But you're still wrong. You just got to find out where you're right at.
Yeah.
You're still wrong.
You were successful in making them think you were right.
Exactly.
But in actuality, factuality, you wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. But yeah, I definitely think the more, I do miss those days where stuff was more defined and it was hard to argue with the truth. And
I was about to have to say some shit. We was gonna have to bleep that out. Never mind.
But
you said back in the day, 90s and shit, and 2000s, we had some terms that they've been attempting to change, remove.
Yeah, oh for sure, because of emotions and things. Yeah, but man. You know, saying that, when we talk about like things being redefined, the reason why I think this is important, this dialogue that we're having, is because I have been a gigantic hater over the term my truth, your truth.
I'm just telling my truth.
If I shot you in your chest on camera,
right,
and then when I get to court, I say, listen, I was holding the gun and it went off, and that's not what I wanted to happen. Yeah. And that's my truth.
That was not my intention.
That was not my intention. I don't care what that camera says. I'm living in my truth. I just wanted
the bullet to hit him. I didn't want it to pierce
I just
him.
wanted, I didn't know it was going to happen and all of that, because that's not how I live in my truth. That's the problem I have with stuff like that. Listen, save your truth for your phone conversations or your personal conversations with your friends. What's the truth?
This is the age of sensitivity that we living in, brother.
This is the age of deception and avoiding accountability, sir.
I almost feel like it's a inevitable response to the world of yesteryear. If we want to have that, that's another conversation we can have. Is there's a balance to how the world and the societies and just life, right, yin and yang, and because we lived in a world where there's a toughness about the lives that we lived and the things that we were involved in, and the values of societies and the expectations of society, and shaming people for certain lifestyles. Yeah,
we talked about that, like shame, right? Going away. And
so a lot of the things that we experienced and the ways in which we participated in societal norms is now looked upon as I guess harsh, too tough,
right,
and insensitive to the values of others' lifestyles and things like that. Those different type of trigger words and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's almost like a balance to how things were before. Like nobody would dare be like, "This is my truth." It's like no, even the whole wokeness thing, like them taking that word and switching it up.
Yeah, they completely took the word woke and they hijacked it and turned it into something else. Yeah. I hate when that happens, and I hate when it happens when it's something that comes from the culture.
And I hate it when white people think they know what the fuck they talking about like that when they use it.
Yeah.
And like, okay. But yeah, I think that's what's going on now, is that we're living in this world of sensitivity because it's a counterbalance to those generations of people before. So
Well, I do understand that. I 100% agree with all of that, but I think the main reason why it's this way is because of what we said earlier. Everybody has a microphone now. And I mean, we were alluding to more of the social media podcasting, but I mean, your microphone is obviously your cell phone. You can start an account on any social media platform and state your grievances. And if anybody relates to that, that's your truth, the truth. And now you have a support and you have a following with no consequences, no accountability, and no standard to be held to. And that's difficult for us because no matter if we made decisions that we were okay with or not okay with, we still had to deal with them. People don't have to deal with the decisions they make right now. You know, they can capitalize off the decisions they make. And guess what? If they don't, we've seen it all the time where somebody does something online and the majority of the people that know the story disagree with them, and they still turn their camera on and be like, so many of you guys are coming on my comments and saying this and saying that, and you just don't know what you're talking about. It's like, listen, man, 1,000 people can't all be lying about the same thing. You could be misinformed, but 1,000 people cannot all be lying about the same thing. Like, let's
kind of hard for that.
Yeah. And so us looking back or looking at this and then looking back at where we came from, it was like, man, we were held accountable to everything. Even the women in our generation were held accountable to it. I remember going to school, in elementary school, and there was a dress code. Little girls couldn't wear this and that.
That don't exist no more, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm here to tell you, the dress code don't exist no more, bro.
Yeah.
They wearing
whatever they want.
I'm talking about, I pulled up to my son junior high school when he was in 7th grade. And I was like, are we at the high school or are we at the junior high? Like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, the things them girls was wearing, and there was a lot of them.
Well, I knew there was a shift in everything when I was getting on IG and, you know, prime time was happening and I was seeing some of the stuff.
Me and my mom was just talking about this.
I was like, yo, they wearing that?
The parents is buying that shit?
Well, the crazy thing to me is, as far as the young men, it's traditional. You know, they got their tux, whatever the case is.
We talking about these young girls.
Yeah, but when we go to the girls, it was like, wait, crazy. What? They dressing like the women, the celebrities that are going to the VMAs and all of these different shows and stuff like that. I'm like, yo.
Girls had this rule. She had to come down to the fingertips, the skirt.
Yeah. That don't exist.
That don't happen. What?
Full face of makeup. They don't even
sell skirts that go down long down.
Full face of makeup and to me, I think the scary thing about that a lot of parents aren't understanding and what a lot of schools aren't understanding is you're provoking the predators, man.
Yeah, because they could say
you're provoking the predators.
First of all, we're gonna say predators are gonna prey regardless.
Yeah, they are for
predators
sure.
Gonna prey regardless.
No, it's not justifying their behavior, but
objectify.
Yeah, I don't want don't make it. I don't want to make it easy for these fools either.
That don't make it even more a temptation. That's all it's saying. It's not saying that you are responsible for somebody coming and doing horrific type of things and all that.
I'll tell you what I'm saying.
We just don't want you to become a victim to people. Men, I don't know if women.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm saying at that point.
I'm gonna let you know. I don't think women understand that men a lot of times will often treat you how you show up and treat yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That is true because you can have a woman walk into a room or a barbershop, right? And she could be dressed all kinds of wild, fresh off of a Sexy Red video, if you will, right? Men they're gonna continue to do what they do, say what they say. Nigga, man, I had this girl over at the house, but you let somebody like your mother or my mother walk into the barbershop and they look like they don't need no fucking with. Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, homie, chill out with the cussing, man. You know, sisters in here. Or even like somebody from a church. Like if a pastor go get his haircut that's well known in the community, all of a sudden the men in the barbershop, all right, calm down. So that's an example of, what you're saying. How you carry yourself will determine certain behavior to the majority in the room. Now, you might have that 1 or 2 or 3 ignorant people that's going to continue to be how they are, say what they say, do what they do. But you do have that power to, all right, I'm not going to approach, and of course, I already know, women, y'all gonna leave this comment, so let me acknowledge it for you. Sometimes it don't matter. It don't matter how you're dressed or whatever the case is. Yes, we know. We know when you're at the gas station, it doesn't matter how you're dressed. We know when you're in certain environments where you dealing with nothing but heathens, or that's where all the heathens got to be at because that's where the gas is at, or that's where the grocery store is that you like to go to. We understand that, but we're talking about a majority situations. We're not talking about case by case.
We can make all the sense in the world. We lost.
Well,
just us even saying what we just said, nigga. You know how many comments we already lost. We shouldn't even say that shit.
Well, my thing is I'm not disregarding that happens to them. So I don't know how we losing, because it's like, no, that's true, because I've witnessed it. I've been pumping gas somewhere and I've seen some dudes try to holler at a woman that's coming out the gas station because she built a certain type of way and she's not carrying herself in a disrespectful way. You know what I'm saying? I see that, but I can tell you where I don't see it.
At the bank?
I don't see it at church.
At the church? Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
I don't see it inside the bank because those dudes that's acting like that don't have any money to go into the bank.
They don't keep their money in the bank.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. I don't see it at Whole Foods because that's a little pricey for people to be going to get their stuff. You see what I'm saying? So it's not to say that you need to deal with it because of the environment you're in. It's just one of those things you got to understand that, this is probably happening because these people happen to share the same space I'm in at this time period. But this isn't going to always be the thing every single place you go, because sometimes it's not about where you at. It's about who's there. You see what I'm saying? But when we talk about the point that I wanted to make when it comes to like how there's no standards and there's no rules with how they're allowing like young women and young ladies to go to school and to present themselves in these environments. Listen, I don't think that women are at fault when somebody comes and violates them that they don't know, that they don't want to deal with. They don't have any consent. They've never given any consent. I'm not saying they're at fault. What I'm saying is that for my daughter, for my goddaughter, I don't want them in a position where they're on a predator's radar. That's what I'm saying. And how do you get on somebody's radar? Standing out. I don't care where you're at or what you're doing in life. If you at work and you a problem, you on somebody's radar. Mm-hmm. If you loud in the grocery store, you on security's radar. You got a nice loud car, you weaving through traffic, and it's a couple highway patrols, you're on their radar because you're standing out. And you're standing out because the reason why you're standing out is because you're doing something that certain people that have caught you on their radar are looking for or interested in. So we got to be cautious. And the funny thing is, these same rules apply to men, right? Mm-hmm. If I decide to jump in my BMW with all my jewelry on and go to the craziest hood and decide that I want to take a brisk walk in the middle of the hood, guess what? I'm on everybody else's radar. Cause
same with like wearing certain things.
I'm the gazelle walking through the lion's den, homie.
Yeah, men could get in all kind of situations without having anything on, like jewelry or color or wear a hat. Or
you got a little baddie that you dealing with that got 100,000 followers. Take that baddie to one of the most hood bars or clubs that you know, and guess who's on the radar? You and her. Now, we got to test him to see if he should even be with something like that. He probably can't even protect that. He's supposed to leave the trophies in the trophy case. You bringing the trophies out the trophy. Now they want to try you. They gonna try to touch a girl's ass, or they gonna, yeah, man. It's 5 of us and 1 of him. You see what I'm saying? There's so many different ways where you could catch somebody. Like just cool. It's a time and place for everything. But when it comes to the way these young girls and these little kids is dressed, I don't think there's ever a time and place for that. You feel me? So I'm just... Anyways, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Hope you liked the episode. I liked it. You've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast. I am your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Poe.
It was no delay. It was no delay.
Yeah, it's just Poe.
But you know what you've been listening to, another episode in another part of the series of Outlawed Opinions. So you know where to find us on all platforms. You know where to debate with us on all comment sections. So do what you do. We're going to do what we do. Until next time, peace.